So I just wanted to start off right off the bat. What's been your favorite release so far? Your favorite story so far? What's impressed you of the kicks that have dropped so far 2021?
So there's a couple that's been super interesting to me. I really like the Adidas Pharrell Hue NMD, that cream one that came out with the black like fuzzy lettering on top. I thought that was really cool
Right.
because it was like a quilted upper as opposed to like the normal like fly knit. So that quilted upper looked really cool. Adidas
Is this the
also
one they
did.
delivered in robots? They had robots
Yeah, they
deliver to
did. They,
people.
they didn't deliver it to me, Joe Roller. That was only to like Pusha T. Like that went to Pusha T. Lowly regular folk like me just got it in a box. Then actually two things from Adidas. Adidas did a collab with Arizona Iced Tea. I think it was last year, maybe the year before, but they followed it up this year with the Superstar. And
Right.
it's really clean. It's super simple, really clean. Not too flashy. It's like kind of like patches and like the leather's really nice. So those are really dope. Actually, the Jumpman 21, the Jordan Jumpman 2021 is actually a pretty solid shoe. I randomly bought it just to was like, I'm gonna do an unboxing on this and just to kind of see. So the Jumpman 21, 20, I'm sorry, the Jumpman 2021 is a pretty solid shoe. There's this like Jordan 35 that came out too. That's pretty cool. I don't know who did it. Some it's like a sneaker store in the Philippines. Like that one came. That's cool. That one's cool. The Go FlyEase. Like that's just crazy.
So we talked about the Go FlyEase on the last episode that we did. I haven't seen it. I mean, not in person. Haven't put it on. What was the experience like? Is it as intuitive as it appears? I think the goal for anything FlyEase is for there to be as little of a learning curve as possible.
Yeah.
With putting it on, taking it off. What was it like? Your first impression?
My first impression was like, oh wow, this is really easy. This is simple. And then you start thinking like, oh man, I can see so many people using this, not just like those that don't have like the sort of manual dexterity that's required to tie your shoes, but like anyone, like a pregnant woman, little kids, an athlete after a workout and they're tired and they just want to throw something on that's comfortable. Like they slide into those. Like there's tons of I think use cases for it. um, and I think it's going to be. I think it was bigger than Nike expected it to be. I don't think they knew that it was going to blow the way that it did. And it's just something that just it's very simple. You slide your foot in and just press down, and that's it. It kind of locks around your foot. It's almost like it's the Nike mag without all of
Right.
like the technical stuff into it. Because like in the movie when he put it on, it like wrapped around his foot and tightened and everything. Just think of that, but without all like the mechanical stuff. And like that's what the experience is like. You put it on your foot and like it's done. Like that's it. It's done. Like you don't really have to do anything.
What caught my eye is how you're supposed to remove it, which is I feel like the most, I don't know if this is a personal thing, but is the most intuitive thing for me because I'm like, that's what I do. As
That's
soon
what
as I saw it, I'm like, that's
100.
exactly what I do. I know that there are sneakerheads out there who are going to be upset at me for it, but I absolutely use the heel of my left foot to step on my right foot and then yank my foot out and then vice versa. And when I saw it, I was like, I'm so upset I didn't think of this because it seems like it's such an obvious idea and the
Yep.
mechanism of it doesn't seem like it's overtly complex, but I guess that's the beauty of it. That's the achievement of it, right?
Yeah.
Is that it's something so simple and they were able to pull it off. I'm still upset. I feel like there was some patent money there that I left on the table had I pursued
Ah.
this.
Yeah, it's incredibly simple. It's like and I think you're right. Like that's how I think everybody takes their shoes off, unless you're like a sneakerhead purist and you don't want to mess up your shoes. Like I think everybody takes their shoes off by stepping on the back of them for the most part. Even when you untie your shoes and you're taking them off, like and you're being precious about it, you still kind of put your foot back there to take them off, even when you untie them. Not even
Right.
I'm not even talking about just being reckless and like not untying your shoes and taking them off. Even when you untie them, you still kind of put your foot back there to take them off. And what they did, which is really cool, is they reinforced it right there in the back with like this extra rubber there. So like they knew like that's going to eventually wear down, and people are like, oh, like you're going to tear up your shoes. Actually, no, you're not. Like they thought about that, and it's so obvious the design. Like they have that big rubber band on the outside. Like literally, it's so everything that makes the shoe work is right there and obvious in your face. They didn't try to hide anything. I think if they would have tried to hide it, it would have made it more complicated. So they just kind of left everything out in the open so it could be as simple as possible. I think it's a brilliant move.
Yeah, it's and also the aesthetic of having that rubber counter at the back. I think a few years ago that would have been so jarring, but now with the Sakai's, now with what we've seen with like a Cold Wall with their collab with Nike before having those big counters in the back, it actually now is a little bit much more consistent with the hype collab sneakers that we see. So it's really impressive.
Something going on around the islands. Straight fire when we vibing, promise.